I think one of the hottest prospects in North America for this season as a whole. We've got, J-Ross joining the team and really sparking some life into them. And Safyu's such a solid third as well that it doesn't really make sense why they've been struggling so much. But what does make sense is why Alpine are improving. I think this is one of the teams that have the highest potential throughout this entire season.
Certainly will be interesting to see how they come across it, but not necessarily the first time that we've heard a Soniqs team start off the season very well and then start to drop off part way through. So maybe there's something there in the DNA that is not helping them out. Either way, they've got a chance to try and turn this around, and more importantly, when it comes to overall RLCS points, they are still all tied up with their opponents. There's a big thing for us in this one, however, Johnny, is we have seen in previous weeks, yesterday as well, from V1 against G2, and then we saw Liquid against Reno Vitality. Getting a good performance doesn't seem like it's all that important anymore, because we've seen teams get the good performance, not respond afterwards as there's decent offense moving forward. But it seems like getting the win is actually more important there, because teams that have lost seem to struggle to move that on to the next round.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing to bounce back from, and you might think, well, that doesn't... that's surprising. We're basically in triple elimination in this Swiss format, so there's more chances for teams to progress if they do lose, unlike the more traditional double elimination that we've had in Rocket League competition. But that hasn't really been the case. Teams that lose early on have struggled. And I think it's just a mental thing. This is still a new format for these players, and you have to bounce back from losses the majority of the time, but doing so is hard. That's a nice save by Magic Bear, just lunging forward at shot to make himself as big as possible. Magic Bear, for me, he's the one to watch these days on Alpine, although every single one of these players are capable of astonishing mechanical abilities. And right now it's been some tidy defense out of them, although Soniqs are attacking relentlessly. J-Ross with a double touch center attempt to shock on the far side. Boost steals are coming in for Soniqs, and it's difficult for Alpine to break free.
I definitely struggled a lot last season when it came to playing a non-defensive game. A huge demo, needed a much better shot from Safyu. Soniqs so far controlling the territory, haven't got the goal for it just yet, and do end up double committing to keep that one out. They get very nervous sometimes with what they're about to see on the defensive side of the ball. J-Ross, good first touch, hasn't got a good enough recovery to move him for a second one. There is also not much in the form of support. J-Ross comes in late, and it is how late he got to it that allowed Jordan to set up.
It could have been a goal right there. I think if J-Ross hits that in the exact top corner, it would not have been possible for the Alpine defender to get the save. It's so difficult to get a save when the ball's behind you and up in the air as well. It's almost impossible, in fact, if it's a fast shot. So missed opportunity there. J-Ross was not, it was a threatening shot. It was on target, but had he placed it more effectively, I don't think that Alpine would have been able to save it.
Alpine just pinned back at the moment. I don't think they even know what the blue side of the field looks like anymore, as they've got a couple of demos. J-Ross goes for the Doomsday Dish, and it has really got to the point that even though the hint is in the name, not too sure Alpine could even name the color of the other side of the field just yet, as they do finally see their way through. They're going to want to try and keep hold of this now. Magic Bear into the midfield, and he's still got a good challenge. So now a chance for Alpine to start growing into this, as it's going to drop down in shock with a crucial touch.
I actually like the solo play there from J-Ross. He had a passing option across the goal, but that was a bit more obvious, and he decided to just use that passing option as a distraction while going for the goal himself off the back wall. Next time around, he's probably going to pass in that position, since he's had his go with the solo play. It didn't work. And you do want to mix things up, even in 3v3. You make one goal attempt off the back wall. Next time, the infield pass is a bit more threatening, perhaps. So let's see if J-Ross and Soniqs are going to keep on switching up their offense. Oh, Percy comes out of nowhere. That's a brilliant knock-on. Magic Bear gets the opening goal, but really, this is just Percy sneaky behind enemy lines and beating Safyu to the punch.
I think Soniqs just got so used to everyone on Alpine needing to be back in defense. They weren't ready for the idea of the half rotation into the shot. And there we go in a score that is very much against the run of play so far. It is Alpine now up in prime position to take game number one. Safyu, he's not really got a good passing option over there. It's just a bunch of space for his team to work with. So that backboard will be well covered. 2 players committed as well. That is a great sign for the opponent. Wow. It's a huge dunk from Jordan, but it's not going to go in. Gonna have to clean this up now if they want to try and get this goal back. That's not clean. That's not it. No, that's you've not really done what I've asked for here.
Yeah, this is pretty much the opposite. So actually 2 times now we've seen Soniqs fall into that trap. They're playing the 50-50 game in their own half of the field, but they're not staying goal side of the ball, so it's rolling on target when the challenge is over. We had the one on the right-hand side just a few seconds before that, which you know, went wide left of the goal. That could have very easily gone in. Now again, they've repeated the process, and this time they're scored on. Careless defending by Soniqs, and it really didn't take long for them to concede a couple of goals. So we saw, I think, maybe 3-4 chances for Alpine all game, and the Soniqs have let 2 of them go in. Yeah, I do want to give credit where it's due, though. Percy's pass was brilliant. The full team passing play from Alpine to open the scoring was very well done. However, Soniqs had so many opportunities to score this game, and they didn't really look too threatening. The placement of the shots, just, for me, it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and you do make mention earlier on as well of the shot that Jordan was the only player in net for, right at him. Yeah. He was only on 1 boost for that play, so anywhere, literally anywhere that isn't directly at Jordan, and that ends up being a goal. So for Soniqs, they will look at this game as an opportunity, been and gone, and very, very much missed, as we do go over to game number 2 shortly. Heading over to Urban Central, and in a matchup that we need to see better on the offensive side of the ball from Soniqs. They had a lot of time there to try and set the pace for the game, and they didn't take it.
Yeah, this is a fast team. You know, Soniqs have done this plenty of times this season. They'll come out the gate very quickly. They'll show off their mechanical skill. They'll starve their opponents out of all the boost in the back corners. But then they don't really do much with all that. They've got a ton of pressure and no goals to show for themselves. It's a disappointing continuation of a problem that I don't really know if they've got the answer for. It doesn't look like they do. But you know, seeing game 1 and seeing how it's developed, I already wouldn't be surprised to see this go to game 5. You know, we'll probably see another disappointing loss for Soniqs, and then they'll step things up and send us into game 5 and then own goal in overtime when we get there. It's you know, one of those teams that you hate to say it, but their fans are probably going to get more and more frustrated if they keep producing results and keep producing performances like this.
Here we go, Magic Bear. Oh no, that's gonna be own goal. No. Magic Bear will claim it, and I don't think there is gonna be any attempt to claim it from anybody on the Soniqs.
Oh dear, there was really no need for that. J-Ross has just jumped into that ball. That was, you know, he could have just let it go past him. There was a 3rd man in position, but probably more of a reflex than anything else. He just hits the ball because he can, and it flies into his own net. Still though, didn't need to happen. And how often are we saying that when we're casting and we're watching Soniqs play these days? We're like, well, they didn't need to do that, did they? They could have just done nothing and it would have been a better result. Oh, look at the plays by J-Ross, though, so close again. Solo plays off the back wall are pretty effective, at least in appearance, but the scoreline remains the same.
Yeah, J-Ross, as always, he gets decent territory from these solo plays, but they'll want the final product. And it is a case, especially in a game like Rocket League, that once you hit a few of them, the rest start to get a lot easier, as J-Ross will take out 1 player. Shock's got a bit of time, and he's managed to hit that straight into Jordan. Chase the ball down. He's going to come out. Magic Bear. Oh, that's just off target.
Once again, look, showing the outside of the ball in the back corner. That's the 3rd time this series that Soniqs are just kind of inviting big dunks to just fly on target. I'm really surprised.
Have both been in the schoolyard. Wait a second, that's a great save from Staffew. Me and you have both been in the schoolyard, and we both know that the most effective defensive strategy in the world, no nonsense, hoof it. Yeah. I really just want to see them hoof it now.
Well, they just need to get their car on the right side of the ball, because if they put their car between the ball and their goal and then take a 50-50, the ball's not going to fly on target. It doesn't go through a car. That's not how Rocket League physics will work. But if you go on the outside edge of the ball, it might just bounce in off you. Nice double by Percy, 2-0. And they haven't relied on a mistake from Soniqs on this one. Once again, it is Alpine who are making the big plays.
That's a gorgeous double tap from Percy. And it starts to feel more and more like that opening flurry that we got from the Soniqs needed to result in a goal, because ever since then, they have shown us absolutely nothing. Jordan does go over the top. Quick score update for you as well, Johnny, over on our B stream, twitch.tv/eLeagueTV. It's currently 1-1 in games between Nefarious and Pittsburgh Knights, but should correct that very quickly. It's 2-1 now to Nefarious off a 4-1 win as J. Ross comes in, can't get the goal.
That's crazy. I mean, we've had plenty of upsets this weekend. I was wondering if that was going to continue into this group, or would we see more of what we're expecting. You know, so far what we expected to see from Alpine and Soniqs has happened. Soniqs, a bit of a disappointing result, staring them in the face unless they can sort themselves out. Now, Jaros has his dodge here. Is he going to make something off it? Yes, he is. Oh, once again, though, they're so close, but so far. And you can't really fault them too much for that one. That was a great try by Jaros and denied by the bar.
Oh, dear, the frustration. It's got to be building so much, and I wouldn't be surprised if we just saw a monumental mistake soon. I don't even blame them for it at this point. They'll be desperate to get something to work, as they are currently being held to absolutely nothing here in game number 2. Jordan gets a clear, gets a second touch, and Safu will be used to try and make it a third. Playing around dangerously, a third goal would end this game. Well, for many of us right now, I think we're very much looking like a 2-goal lead might be enough. Shock continues just to try and find something for the Soniqs to work with. J-Russ ends up having to play it slowly, and it just ricochets off his car, takes away any venom that Safu could have come in with.
And just look at how Jordan is playing that back corner defense. Every 50-50 was a safe one, and every 50-50 was actually a victory for him. He just took on all 3 players of Soniqs one after another, and got the ball to go past every single one of them. The Soniqs need to take notes, because that's something they've been struggling with. And it's such a simple concept, but it's still something that that will, you know, have quite a variety of success at the highest level. Some teams are very known for their 50-50 game. You know, you're thinking about Vitality in Europe and how difficult it is to get the ball past any of those players. Alpine are proving to be quite the same in this match, dominating every single challenge against a Soniqs team who are quite known for their solo playability. You know, Safi's had a bit of history of that, J-Ross as well, 1v1 background, and Shock is one of the highest rated 2s players in the world. It's surprising to see them getting crushed in these challenges.
It's going to be a 2-0 here, as the ball does drop down to the ground. 2-0 in game score, 2-0 in series score. And this was much more dire, Johnny, than the last one. At least for the last one, you could make the argument that Alpine were able to take advantage of the few chances they get a hold of. But this one, it felt like the series, and it definitely felt like the midfield was dominated by Alpine.
Yeah, it's a very tidy performance by Alpine. You know, game number 1, they were stuck in their own goal line. They were stuck in their own half for the majority of it. Game 2, we got to see a bit more back and forth with Alpine attacking just as much as Soniqs did. And they are the team who are defending a bit more safely. They're getting goal side of the ball. They're not giving clear shots to Soniqs to score. So even if Soniqs are producing some pretty reasonable setups, you're thinking, you know, J-Ross off the back wall and off the ceiling in particular, he's been looking threatening, but they haven't put the goals in. They're getting close, but they know that they need to put goals in the top corners, in off the bar against this Alpine defense, who are making things extremely difficult for them to get past. It hasn't been that challenging for Alpine to score in comparison. They just think, well, let's just put the ball on target, because Soniqs might not be there.
It's going to be Safu trying to keep that one out. Right now, the defensive side. Oh, wait a second. J-Ross might be able to put that one in, but
nope.
It's again straight down the middle. They need to get a more powerful shot, and they are currently staring down 5 minutes away from a potential perfect sweep, and it's almost gone in. Jordan's going to score off it. Safu couldn't figure out the read.
Wow, the pre-flip finish is fantastic. Look at that, 2 50-50 wins from Jordan once again. And Safi didn't have any boost to play with here. He's trying desperately not to own goal. Couldn't figure out a way to get the ball off the goal line before Jordan came through with the pre-flip. How does this keep happening, though? Jordan's 50-50s destroying Soniqs 2 games in a row. And Soniqs not able to replicate whenever they're put in the back corner. Their challenges are looking very, very susceptible.
Jordan might have wanted to take over it. Well, not right now. It looks like he's got 2 octane stacks on top of each other whenever he goes for these challenges. Does come in again. Finally, will lose one off a very awkward angle challenge. Percy now in. Another good challenge as well. JRS has managed to set up Shock to at least try and play the ball. Asking too much of him. 4 minutes now. We still need to see the first goal. That could have been it. Follow-up shot from Steph is off target.
What is that? That's just shocking. Absolutely shocking from... well, actually, it wasn't from Shock, although it would have made a lot more sense if it was. Again, okay, this time the shooting is accurate and powerful. I've been waiting for this all series long because again and again we're seeing Soniqs take shots that are just pathetic by their standards. Now finally we get to see some power and accuracy combined, and they do get a goal out of it. Let's see if they can produce more like that and less like the ones we saw earlier on in the series.
Well, at least they won't be added to the halls of infamy when it comes to the perfect sweep. Now they've got to work from this. As Jordan just continues to ride the momentum. He is built up here. Typically, it's Magic Bear that we tend to see being the more flashy player, as he will move in, take the infield pass, and re-establish the team's lead.
Very nice pass by Percy. You know, he's played that first touch extremely safely as well. He knew there was a player coming in to try and block his shot, so he makes sure to get enough height on it and makes sure to just get it as close to the sidewall as possible so he can get there and make another hit into the middle. Extremely impressive stuff from Alpine. They're playing their challenges brilliantly, and they're also playing around the challenges of Soniqs very well. Now the passing is just elevating again. Percy to Jordan, 3-1.
I mean, just look how clean it is. Jordan, he sees all of the room he's got, and he just stops. He knows he's going to get the pass. He knows he's got the shot. Just feels like that entire play was decided about 2 seconds before the goal actually went in. Being out-positioned and outpaced. And
yeah,
Soniqs,
totally.
Well, they've got to triple up here.
Yeah, they're just getting... Soniqs are being totally outplayed. They're being beaten in the simple stuff and also in the more advanced things as well. I'm loving the passing that we're seeing out of Alpine now. The team plays are just so clean. Nothing too fancy. Now, that's a decent pass. J-Ross will bang it, but it's saved well by Jordan. I gotta wonder again, why is that not going towards the top corner? This one will. Shock finds the back of the net. And out of all the games that we've seen so far, this is the one that Soniqs have actually struck the ball well on occasion in. But still, a couple of shots lacking accuracy.
I'll give Safi full credit there. That looked like it could have been a play that was done and dusted. And he did manage to at least scramble the ball back into a shootable spot. Quick update for you as well, Johnny, since I did tease you with this one earlier. Nefarious have managed to do it. They have taken down the Pittsburgh Knights. So they will move into the 2-0 side of the bracket and have got 3 chances to move on. Shot goes straight into Percy, who does manage to keep it out.
Wow.
Yes, a bit of a surprise over there, which North America is definitely providing this week.
That is crazy. You know, we
Where are we putting that on the list?
Well, I don't know how far up the list or how near the top of the list of upsets of the weekend that would be, because there's been so many. North America has been the predictable region so far this season, but no longer, it seems. Nefarious, Buddy, J-Wiz, and Adam, 3 players that we've not heard of, you know, succeeding for a while. Okay, well, just as we're talking about that, Soniqs are playing some of the best Rocket League they've played all series long, but I do wonder why Jordan sat back as long as he did there. No challenge coming in from him. Satthew snipes the ball over the top of him, and the accuracy is coming into play now for Soniqs. Definitely not too late on that front. They've got to keep it up.
Yeah, the J-Ross positioning just screamed to me that he was expecting a first-time shot and then was very much caught out by the fact when it wasn't. Satthew playing well here, actually. He has been the brightest spark on this team for me. As Jordan will guide it back to safety. Incredible play from him. J-Ross wants the second. Magic Bear won't let it happen. Team has very much been dragged back into the wars. Shock takes his time, spots Jordan, who continues to wait for it. Soniqs need something big here. They've got to get this next goal. J-Ross would love to try and deliver. He's gone for a few fancy plays. Will this be the one to work? Yes, it will.
Good stuff from J-Ross. He gets the ball over the top of the last defender, and the follow-through was not good enough for Percy. He just stops. He panics like a deer in the headlights there. Needed to play that into the corner. If he doesn't, there will always be a Soniqs player there to finish it off. Shock with the 4th goal, and they're finding the back of the net with some consistency now. That's quite a few goals unanswered. And although Alpine have been composed up until now, is this a chance for the inexperienced to shine through?
Satthew does save, and Love to provide you an answer to that, Johnny, but this week has been anything but predictable, especially after we already had a reverse sweep yesterday. Shock's going to move in, hits the crossbar. That could have been the goal to secure this game.
It really should have been. That was another brilliant air dribble setup from J-Rust. He's gone over the top of everybody with these air dribbles in this game. Nobody's able to predict just how high he'll be able to accelerate the ball and lift it. Beautiful mind game by Parsi. He's in a 1v1 with no boost. He has to mind game again, and it will not work out. But initially, got to point out that mind game was really deadly, and it's a bit of a let-off that Soniqs have allowed that to happen. They should at least be making some kind of contact in that position. Good shot, but it's saved again. I'm impressed by the shooting that Soniqs have produced in this last game. And once more, oh, that's a phenomenal save, but they're surely not going to keep it out. Yes, they are. Oh my goodness, we might have a 0-second chance for Soniqs. Sathy's not having any off it. Into the ground it goes. And they do get one game on the board. They've come to life. They've, you know, still got a lot of work to do, but that's the start for the Soniqs in this matchup.
Aye, fair play, Alpine. Those were some really nice saves. But could you challenge one of them for us? That is 2 goals that they conceded in that game. There was a whole flurry at the end there where they sent no one out to it. That is a little bit of a worrying sign as we head into what Soniqs fans out there would hope to be the second half of this series. But yeah, definitely a good answer back from Soniqs. They got themselves 4 goals on the board. They took 16 shots in 5 minutes. I think they've just used up their grand total for the next 3 series just in that one game. But we're going to have to figure that out now. I would usually come over to you here, Johnny, and ask, well, what's different? But I'm going to have to say J-Rust. If he can keep providing those sort of setups, they might have a shot at this.
Yeah, true. You know, J-Rust had some impressive setups in game 2 as well. You know, a couple of back wall plays and ceiling plays, but the goal evaded him. The double touches were just hitting off the bar, and everything that was supposed to fall to a teammate would fall to an Alpine player. So it is just more of the same now for Soniqs. They're going to try and continue to produce difficult plays to stop. It's going to be interesting how Alpine respond. They're a bit slow in defense once again, just stationary defenders. Not able to generate a lot of power on their clears because nobody's moving. Magic Bear's just crawling back here to try and make contact.
Yeah, Staffy's just gone full goal poacher mode. Sat on the goal line, sat the 6-yard box, and ready just to put it in. Marky Dudar is somewhere out there very proud of him right now. As Jordan's going to take his time yet again. This time, the more advanced strategy for him was actually to go for that, so well played. Percy moves in. Staffy late on the challenge, but still gets enough on it. J-Rust will continue just to be a thorn in the side, just wants the 100 boost. A lot of good ball carries right now. Staffy to put another one, and it's Shock waiting around on the penalty spot. Turns it in for 2-0.
Now that's more like it. J-Rust making a play onto Parsi. As Staffy's passed down to Shock is something else. Really pretended that he was shooting, so nobody was paying attention to Shock on the run-in. He's not going to miss from that range. That was confidently struck. Curious to see Alpine kind of fall apart here. They've played the same game start to finish, just keeping things very safe, very organized. I wonder if that is a potential weakness of this team because they're such fast players, but they don't play at a breakneck speed. They don't play at that, you know, top speed that some teams do in the Rocket League scene right now. And Soniqs are definitely, they're starting to outpace them. I think Alpine should step it up a gear.
Magic Bear just decides to blast this time. I'm going to get the follow. J-Rust over to Shock. Be desperate right now not to concede that 3rd goal. Staffy with a good pop. You want to finish this. No infield passing option for him after Magic Bear moves in just quick enough. Percy, where's his option? It's back up to Magic Bear, but he would have required the pre-jump. And Magic Bear couldn't quite read it.
Yeah, it would have needed some kind of crazy pre-jump there. Magic Bear didn't have a lot of boost while he was making himself an option for the center ball. Alpine are pressing now to try and make something happen. It's such an interesting team to watch because I know that they've got the potential to be one of the most mechanical, one of the most speedy teams in the world, but they kind of play with a speed limiter on them. They're avoiding mistakes. They're playing that, let's not make any mistakes. Let's look out for unforced errors and prevent them as much as possible. But is that limiting what they're capable of? Is that limiting how much of a threat they are? You know, Soniqs were kind of losing. They were beating themselves at times earlier on the series. Now that they've starting to play with more consistency and more confidence. Alpine don't look that dangerous.
Certainly not. Right now, they are the team that are trying to chase this. Safu waits around in the midfield, and now it's the transition game that is working out incredibly well for the Sonics. Very much a different series right now. Off the backboard, J-Ross will get to it. Doesn't put a foot wrong, but it's Percy to keep out the second one. Narrowly avoids being demoed, and it's another great transition. This is a completely different series right now, Johnny. And Sonics fans will be loving it.
Yeah, this is the Sonics team that we've been waiting to see. And we've had glimpses of this year, but so often they'll have a game, the game's exactly like we saw in Games 1 and Game 2, where they just can't put together some confident striking. You see a massive run up into the ball, and you think that is going to be a boomer, that's going to be a top corner shot, and it just trickles wide of the target, and you wonder what on earth is going wrong for them. But they're putting it together now. Shock's got a tight angle rebound. He's actually going to knock it down, but the pass is off target. Alpine are trying. They're looking for a way through. Oh, and they found one! That was a whiff from a Sonics player. You know, quite a difficult read on the back wall, but still something you'd expect Sathi to be making. And Alpine are there to punish them. Percy puts one through.
It's just that little bit of pace. Alpine weren't tricky about it this time. I've seen it numerous times that Sonics have still got mistakes in them. You've just got to keep pressing for them. Now Magic Bear in. Has got Jordan on his right. Might want to go by himself. He did try to feint it. No one on Sonics was fooled. 70 seconds on the clock. Alpine need to carry this momentum over. Safu can't get enough on Percy. Magic Bear just clatters through. So far, I think Jordan's probably the player that's taken the biggest step back here. Now, admittedly, it would have been very difficult for him to take another step forward, but a massive save. Safu shot. Not going to test Magic Bear, but they're struggling to put the ball into positions that can't be played by their opponents. They're handing it straight back over to them. That leads to them being stuck in their final third still with 43 seconds left.
The Sonics are playing a great game at the edge of the box here. They're just circling, they're preventing all the clears, they're reading all the attempted passes that Alpine are making. And it's denying Alpine any territory in this matchup, and by proxy denying them any chances to get that equalizer that they are running out of time from, or for if they're going to get it in this game. But I do wonder if Sonics are going to be able to play out a consistent final few seconds. Oh, Jordan's got a ton of space here. J-Ross gets in front of him. Brilliant block, and now it is the final chance of the game.
Drops into the middle. J-Ross, the player that they wanted on that. Safi will take over, try and kill as much time as he possibly can. Jordan's at least popped the ball to the air. Not won it, but Magic Bear, he's up late. He's not going to get there. And no one else from Alpine is going to be able to either. So, 2 games done here, Johnny. 1 more to go to secure the reverse sweep.
Well, so far, it's a very Sonics-like series. You know, they're just sleeping in games 1 and 2. Then they wake up and produce some great Rocket League. They're outpacing Alpine. They are clearly the faster team here, which is impressive because Alpine are very mechanically gifted, but I don't know what it is. They seem to be playing, like I said already, this game with some kind of limit into their speed. They're trying to it's almost like the mentality is they're trying not to make any mistakes. They're trying not to lose. They're trying to be as safe as possible in every position. But I think that all the best teams in the world of Rocket League play with no fear. They just play with zero hesitation. And Alpine, in their attempts to keep things as clean and as organized as possible, are starting to hesitate. They're starting to get beaten to the punch by a Sonics team who, with their experience and I think with their maybe slightly less concerned play style, they're starting to punish them more and more.
It does really read to me right now like Alpine want to be that organized team. When you look at the players on it, you get a feeling that their strengths are when they're not. As it's going to be a shot, huge save from Jordan. No, this needs to be a big, dumb series, which is going as fast as possible, where boost is at a premium. And it just hasn't been that so far as the ball bounces through. J-Ross and Shock are going to give chase. Shock might have just bounced this over. J-Ross wants the double tap, and Percy, crucially, will keep it away from exactly that. Safu taking out 1 player. Shock goes for the first one up. Percy is going to try and follow him. He's going to drop down potentially for a shot. As Safi moves in, it's not going to be much available for him. And it's not a good touch either. Recovery time for the Sonics.
Yeah, there's that moment again where you start to panic if you're a Sonics fan. Shock with a wicked double touch attempt, but it's in the middle for Safi. And the shots are still coming in on target for the Sonics. I wonder, would they keep it up? Would they bring a good game 5? Well, so far, so good.
I don't know how many more times they can rotate through the middle of the goal on defense and keep being surprised when the ball bounces off the wall and they can't react anymore. Gotta hook around to the side. Yes, you can send one player down the middle. That player can react to the shot, but the other player needs to be ready to hook around for whatever else can happen. And they just haven't done it. They have left players completely stranded and now find themselves down the wrong side of the reverse sweep if the result stays the same.
Yeah, Alpine, like I said already a few times, in their attempts to keep a perfect rotation going, they aren't sending anybody to the ball. The no commits. You know, we're always criticizing players, and teams are clearly getting called out for double committing, sometimes even triple committing for a ball. But worse than any of that is the no commit. And that's something we see sometimes from Alpine. Somebody needs to just get the ball into the defensive corner. You can't leave it in front of the goal. But if you're not sure whose job it is to do that, just everybody go for it. Just, you can't let it bounce into the middle like they have been. And, you know, it's really strange that they've abandoned that 50-50 game that they were dominating with earlier on in the series. Now they're just getting beaten to the punch by a team who don't hesitate as much as they do.
Well, Sonics have managed to lock down that midfield for a long period of time. Percy might have Jordan as an option. It's not a great angle for him to work with. He'll still try and scramble to keep the pressure on. Shots on target! Oh! And somehow, J-Russ scrambles the ball out.
That is an unbelievable save. Such a difficult one to get away from the center of the box while knocking it clear. Very easy to put off the inside of your own post, I mean. But J-Russ avoids that and gets rid of the danger. Keeps the Sonics 1 goal in front. Reverse sweep is still very much on here. And Alpine are still looking for the clean out plays. They're trying to clear the ball. They're trying to pass the ball out of defense. Where are the 50-50s? Where's the ground game that was so dominant earlier on in the series?
Off the backboard, J-Russ will read it yet again. Very few mistakes from him lately. As Magic Bear off the backboard, J-Russ, well, he's just set up shop back there now, hasn't he? There has not been many plays that haven't at least seen where he's been around. As Magic Bear looks for the tap down to Percy. Unfortunately, before he can get to him, there's already 2 players around, and now it's a misread shot from Jordan. A little bit quicker on the draw, and that could have been 2-0.
Yeah, it was a great read by Sonics. The shot was the obvious threat, and the pass was the less obvious threat. That's what Magic Bear went for. He went for the pass, and they still saw it coming with both their players. They were able to predict it. Oh, they can't predict this, though. Jordan with the mid-air mind game into the rebound, off the ground. Huge solo play by Jordan. That is an unbelievable double touch after the flip reset.
Well, he was definitely napping for the last few games, but it seems like he's come back awake. Jordan brings us back to 1 each in what is a critically important game for both of these teams' tournaments. You'll want that 2-0. You'll want those free opportunities to take yourself through to next week. Percy will clear. Shock just going to take his time, maybe a little bit too much. Magic Bear off the back. Oh! Percy! And it's not enough on the shot. J-Russ dives for it, and he keeps it out yet again.
Alpine stepping up in game 5. They were down and looking on the verge of a reverse sweep or receiving one. Oh boy, have they given themselves a chance here. That's the pass infield from Percy. Not the way he wants to be hitting the ball. The Sonics must be rattled by the elevation of Alpine. What a play from Jordan, sparking them to life. And now this is a chance for Percy to clear. He's got Magic Bear to the left. Magic Bear with the redirect on target. J-Russ with another good save. Keeps the ball in the back corner. Safi will get behind it. Solid performance so far from both teams in game 5.
Safi with a great touch to keep it in a danger zone. J-Russ. Oh, he's faked it out. In comes Shock. Percy was managed to at least keep his nerve. But Safi's moved forward with very little to gain there. I think he just wanted to get the play moving nice and quickly. Loose ball available. Percy unable to win the race to it. And now Safi on the break. Jordan already waits. Could be going over to overtime to decide this series. And we will. Next goal decides it. What
a series this has turned out to be. Alpine, they've got the momentum on their side after Jordan's goal, but they are currently on a 2-game losing streak. But at this point, it's a clean reset. Who's going to play their A game when it matters most? Jordan to the back. Well, J-Russ is there. He's waited very patiently there. Look at the timing of the half volley clear. Now he's going to play the ball past one. It's a 2v2. J-Ross to skip past one, looking for the demo, but the jump from Jordan couldn't have been any better. Stays safe, keeps the ball in the corner.
It's got to be just a heartbeat that is skipped every time they see J-Ross on the ball. He has been a nightmare for them, and they're going to try and do it yet again. Safu. I've still got Magic Bear to deal with. Pops all the way out. J-Ross now moves in as Hersey will avoid Safu's attempted bump. Did not want to overcomplicate that one. Instead, they went route one and almost got the result for it.
Alpine clearly put some points in evasion. Their game 5 has mostly been just avoiding the bumps and demos coming in from Soniqs so far. 1 minute into the game, couple of 50-50s go even. Actually, Soniqs might have a chance off this one, but again, it's a 50-50 straight up in the air. Neither team getting a huge advantage out of it, but now Safu with the air dribble. Early interception by Jordan. It falls to Shock, though. Magic Bear has to dive bomb save this, and he doesn't have a good recovery, and it's a rebound for J-Ross to take the game in overtime. Alpine were hanging on, but they have been defeated.
And I think we're starting to run out of scripts here, Johnny, because for the second time, we are opening up our broadcast with a reverse sweep. The Soniqs, after looking down and out, flat as you like, have managed to jumpstart their day and now move to 2-0. They are going to join, and I can't believe I'm going to say this yet again here, but Nefarious on the 2-0 record.
It's crazy. So we've got Nefarious and Soniqs, the two teams we expected to be losing in this round. They're actually undefeated. NRG versus Omelette coming up, and Frontline are currently playing Envy. So already is some crazy potential matchups for the 3-0 series finishers, the teams who will go top seeds into stage 2.
Well, if we want more crazy series, then you've got nowhere else to look than here, because when we come back from break, it is a run back, a rematch of the Summer Shuffle Grand Final as NRG take on Omelette.